Every valuable lesson you learn in life will come from you failing. This is Wright Brennan with Lost in the Midlands. I'm here with a veteran entrepreneur, home improvement professional, real estate investor, my buddy Tracy Selfridge with Clutter-Less Junk Removal and Demo. Hey, Tracy, thanks for hanging out, man.
Hey, happy to be here, bud.
Yes, sir. And that is a pretty cool quote that you picked out. That's Andy Frisella. And you were just telling me what an impact failing has had on your life. Tell me why you thought this quote was cool.
Oh, yeah. Failure is important. It's very important. It's the reason I'm here. It's the reason I'm here talking to you. It's the reason I went on this journey to become a financially independent person. The failure that caused me to go on this path was a foreclosure back in 2013.
Wow.
So it was a very humbling experience. I grew up in a trailer.
Wow.
Don't come from a wealthy family and all that. So this was the first house that I owned, and I didn't take care of it financially. So I lost it, and that kind of sent me on this path. A man loses his house, it does something to him, and it makes him not want to go through that again. So that's where I'm at. That's why I'm here. I started learning about investing, started learning about money, started learning about business.
Yeah.
So, yeah, failure is important, man. Failure is important.
Heck yeah. Yeah, those trials and tribulations, they suck, but, you come back to Phoenix, you learn.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, without it, because if I didn't go through that failure, right, would I have gotten into finances? Would I have gotten into business? Would I have even cared? Or would this happen to me whenever I was 40? You never know. I'm thankful I had that failure. It sounds stupid maybe whenever you're going through it, but if you go through it and you survive it, you become stronger, and it shows you, how important failure really is. So, not afraid of failure. It's made me. I like it.
That is awesome.
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah. Well, let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about your beginnings. You are from the Lexington area?
Yes, I'm from Saluda. I grew up down there around Ramp 3 and Ramp 4. That's actually Saluda County. It's like right on the edge of the county line.
Yeah.
And I grew up there. Grew up on the lake. Not necessarily on the lake. We was probably about a half a mile from the lake. So it was an easy walk to the ramp and play and stuff like that. Went to Saluda High School, and then actually, here's another failure. So I went to Saluda, and I dropped out in the 11th grade, and I dropped out. I was a dropout, and so I didn't go to 12th. But I remember the following year going to get my GED, and I got my GED before my classmates even graduated. So I went and got my GED, and then I got into some trouble. I did some stupid things that kids would do. Got in trouble with the law, and it was pretty big penalties. So. They gave me the ultimatum to either go to jail or I can go to the Army. That's an easy choice. So I went to the Army. Went and did that. Went to the National Guard for 6 years. I was telecommunications. I was a signal support specialist. Wow. So we worked on all the radio equipment and stuff like that the Army had at the time, which I'm sure is outdated by now. But that's what the job was in the Army. So I did that for 6 years. Outside of that, so it was National Guard. So whenever I got done with my training and my AIT, I came back here, and I was stationed at down there, Sumter.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and I was working different trades, different jobs. I've done a million jobs at this point. I've done roofing. I drill wells as a hand. I was a hand on a well driller business. Did carpentry work. God, man, so much. Drove trucks. I had a CDL for a while.
Do you miss the roofing?
No, I don't. But I get plenty of it now. As a demolition contractor, I get plenty of it, though. I'm just not really up in the air as much. So, but yeah, I've done a bunch of different stuff. Had my CDL, things like that. Went and got my license in 2018, my real estate license. I did that part-time for 2 years. And I've been working at Michelin now. Not now. I've been working at Michelin. I worked at Michelin for 6 years.
Okay.
So I was there for a little while.
Massive.
It's a big place.
Yeah.
It's a big place.
I've met so many people that have worked there, and I know that you can make some good money working there. I mean, long hours, but you can really stack up a lot of money working there. Sure,
and that's exactly what I did. Following that foreclosure, was around the time whenever I went and got that job at Michelin, because I was learning about investing. I was like, you know what? Okay, so I need money to invest. Okay, so where do I get money? Where can I go to work with the skills that I have to go and make as much money as possible? So I went to Michelin, and I burned up the overtime. Right, I'm telling you, there were 2 years. There was about a 2-year time span where it was very common for me to work like 21 days in a row, half the month. I've worked the whole month in a row before. I did that for like 2 years, and I saved all that money. Wow. Saved it all up. So, yeah. Good place to work, save some money. But rotating shifts ain't fun neither, though.
Well, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And the next move, so we're inching up to you at some point decided to go out on your own. At some point, you were like, you know what, Michelin's awesome, but I got to make a move. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and see, that was the problem the whole entire time. From 2013, after that foreclosure, when I started learning about money and everything. So while I was at Michelin for about 5 or 6 years. While I was there, I was trying to do side work and like start a business, and that way I grow it and then ease into it. Yep. Well, the problem is time. You don't have the time. But the thing is, you work rotating shifts and you try to do that stuff when you're off, but you're so tired from working in that plant. Whenever you get off, you don't feel like doing it. And now look, I didn't try this for like a month and was like, the heck with this. I tried this for 2 years because I was a realtor for 2 years. And I did this for 2 years trying to make it work, and I never could make it work. So I was like, God, I can't get no traction, man. I'm out here, I'm working 40 hours a week, 44 hours a week, whatever it is. And these other realtors, they're getting their license and they're starting and they're working 40 hours a week. So they're out there fighting with 2 hands. And I only got one because I got a full-time job. Right. So it's common sense that they would stomp me. It makes sense now. So I quit. I saved up a whole bunch of money, like I said. Big old nest egg, left, and started this company here, Clutter-Less. I knew I had to do it full time. There was no way it was going to work part time. So we just made that jump. And at 39 years old I was 38 when that happened. At 38, that's a big jump. That's scary. It's kind of late to be doing something like that. But here we are. I'm kind of glad I did. Matter of fact, I take that back. I'm super happy I did, because otherwise I would have been still working at that plant wondering what if. So, yeah. It is a scary move. Sure. And it's funny how you bring that story up like you got all these balls in the air. You look at your schedule and you're like, well, I can't do everything. You got to make a move. It comes to a head. Yeah. And you moved towards taking the risk. So of course. Kudos to you, man. Badass. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if it's badass or if it's stupid. No, it's exciting watching your business grow. I mean, we met in BNI. You're networking in the investment groups and stuff, really getting after it. Yeah. And you had that amazing voice, and I was like, man, that guy needs to do a podcast. And it's like, here I am. I don't know, this weird thing. Well, when you started, what was your avenue for new customers when you kind of made the jump? You're like, you know what, Clutter-Less happening. Where do I get some work? Sure. So leading up to that, like I mentioned, I was in real estate, so I had like a little network with that. So whenever I jumped into doing this, I immediately hit those people. And that brought work instantly. That was great. Also going to BNI, that helped a ton. I met a whole bunch of cool people, yourself, Curtis, Randy, whole bunch of new people, right? Whole bunch of cool people. And that helped a lot, and that kind of plugged me into the network. That way I could network, meet people, see how I can help them. Right. Gifter's gain, right? Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, the way it led up, it just sounds like you were you had a lot of pieces together. Mm-hmm. You had experience. Yeah. You had gone out and worked and learned about investing. Mm-hmm. You had somewhat of a network. So, you were thinking, I'm wondering, leading up to that, you were thinking, well, at some point I got to make the move. Let me prepare myself. Or did it just kind of like I can't do it anymore. I got to make the move. Can't do it anymore. I got to make the move. That's exactly what it was. And I'll go on record right now to say that Michelin wanted to come in and bring in a whole bunch of college kids as managers. That's a bad idea. Hire the people that's in the plant that knows what the jobs are. So you were in a tough spot in multiple ways. Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it was a tough spot. Yeah, and I remember, I went on another podcast. It was like a trash talk. It was a junk removal podcast. It was a business podcast.
Cool.
When I was working at Michelin, I went on there and I was talking to those guys, and they gave me. We looked at my market, and they gave me the confidence to say that these were two guys that were in the junk removal business. They've already been down the path that I'm going down. They looked at my market in depth look and said that it would be okay to take that plunge.
There's opportunity.
So that was a big push too. It was like two veterans saying, "Hey, it's there, go get it." So to me, I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So the next day after that podcast, I did the podcast that night. It was a Monday night, and I worked Tuesday night too. So I went and did that podcast that night. And the next day, whenever I went in, I remember the manager coming to me, and I was working, and he came and he said something to me that didn't make no sense, which was very common since we got the new management into Michelin. He came to me and he said something about I needed to do something, and I was like, "Yeah, that's great. Here's my 2 weeks." And that's what I told him. And he looked at me and his eyes about fell out of his head.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where I was. I was ready to go. So I put my 2 weeks in that next day after that podcast.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, the jobs that you're working on, what are you demoing? Are you demoing, is it anything and everything, like, a trailer, a house?
Sure. So the majority of our stuff is interior demo. So like sheetrock, the floors, kitchens, bathrooms. We've torn out chimneys before. We could do exterior demo too. We could tear out decks, play sets, some old wooden play sets. It's like a good idea when the kids are like 5, but when they get like 15, they don't play with it no more and all the wood's rotten.
Yeah.
Call us, we can come get it.
Okay,
that, and we also do like sheds and things like that too.
Okay. And your network of like real estate people, are they the ones who are feeding you the business? Like if somebody needs, I'm just trying to think, like, who is an example of a new customer? Like, what type of person?
A new customer would be a contractor that's trying to grow his business.
Okay.
Yeah, so we help them scale. We can come in, we can take care of that demo, and we do it the right way. We'll come in, we'll clean it up after we get done. I try to make sure we get every single nail, every single staple. That never happens. It's very hard to do, but that's what I aim for. Because what my whole mission is whenever we go into a job is to clear it out, give the next guy that's coming in behind us a clean slate.
Yeah.
I want him to come in and it be like, they just built this. That's what because I know that helps them.
Yep.
I know it's faster and it's good for everybody.
Yeah. So maybe like a kitchen remodeler? Are they some of the guys that you will go
kitchen remodeler or a real estate investor or anyone that is looking to do more projects.
Yeah.
Wants to grow. We're here to help them grow, for sure.
Awesome. Do you have any other like business goals?
Yeah, sure. I sure do. So I lost my house to a foreclosure. Now I want to buy some foreclosures. Or houses that need updates and things like that. So I am looking for a flip too.
Awesome.
I have the network to, take a flip down if we can get one. The problem is getting one. So if anyone knows anybody that has a house that has extensive repairs that they do not want to pay for themselves, they can call me. I'll be happy to buy that house. And they don't have to do none of the repairs. They don't have to talk with a realtor. We can make it nice and easy.
Yeah.
We come in and buy it, and we can do it quick. There will be a due diligence period for us to inspect, but that's not going to be the same time period as it would be if you was getting traditional financing for a house.
That's awesome. So, you're in the game. You're doing the work. You're out there looking at investment opportunities. What advice would you give somebody who wants to get in the game?
Go fail. Go fail. Fail now. Fail fast. Fail hard. Don't be afraid of failure, man. Everybody fails. Our society has this thing of pointing and laughing or picking up the phone and being like, ha, look at him fail.
Yeah.
Be the guy that's failing, because you're going to be the dude that's going to be hiring those people with the phones.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Tracy Selfridge, Selfridge. You can also find Clutter-Less on Instagram and Facebook. It's Clutter-Less.
Heck yeah, Tracy. Thanks for hanging out. It's been awesome watching your business grow. Anybody out there who needs a demo team work done, this is the man. So
yes, for sure. Call us, man. We'll get it done right.
Awesome. Thanks, Tracy.
Awesome. Thank you, right.
Hey everyone, many thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a follow and click the bell to stay up to date on future episodes, or click the link to watch another previous episode. Also, don't forget to like, share, and please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear your feedback.